Hi everyone, welcome back to Zoom Updates 101. My name is Michelle MJ Brodie from Atlas Events Group, and I am just walking everyone through our Zoom account. And this is, again, where we access it through a URL, not through our desktop app, where it's logged in from our desktop. We actually need to come into our website URL to access these settings. So going through our meetings settings, we've gone through what it means to schedule meetings and what that looks like with regards to setting that up and those settings. So if you haven't seen that one, go to the very first video where we sort of walk through the meeting settings and how to do that and what that means. We're now going to go through webinars, and they are different. A meeting is an interactive gallery view where you can see and speak to and interact with face-to-face all of the participants on the call. Most meetings have a limitation. So as explained in the very introduction video, my license says that I have a limitation of 100 participants for my meeting. Now, with webinars, they are different because you can have up to 1,000 video participants, which that is a what's the word? You can have up to 1,000 video participants, which does not mean that they are visible, by the way. It just means you can have 1,000 participants on a normal webinar license, or up to like 100,000. So as you can see, this is a paid extra, and it is something you need to enable. Going back to the main differences between a meeting and a webinar. So a meeting, gallery view, you can see your participants, you can speak to them, you can put them into breakout rooms, and you can engage with them face-to-face, and they can engage with each other because they can see each other. Webinars, they are unlocking some of those same meeting features now. However, the biggest one that is definitely not available in a webinar that is available in a meeting is the face-to-face aspect. A webinar is purely when you have either one host or panelists presenting to online attendees that you cannot see. So I'll rephrase that again. A webinar is when you will have a host or a panel of hosts presenting information to attendees you cannot see. So if you're working in an environment or an industry that's quite corporate, like lawyers or accountants, etc., and you're delivering them information, they most likely would prefer a webinar because they don't necessarily need their competition seeing that they are online. So participants can't see other participants online. They can't see a participant list. They can't see how many people are joining you. So if you have one person turn up to your webinar or 400 people turn up to your webinar, the person who's watching doesn't know how many people are on that call. In a meeting, however, they absolutely can see who is on the call because they can see the participant list. They can also see the thumbnails of the video clips or their profile photos, and they can also see the number of attendees. So if you do not want your video attendees to be able to see those three things, then do not use a meeting, and make sure you are using a webinar for your information, sales pitch, whatever the purpose is for you to use your webinar. With the new webinar features, they are now unlocking the ability for them to chat with each other, the same as a meeting. That used to not be available. However, you can still turn that feature off so that they can only chat with the host and the panelists and not with each other. Also, in a webinar and not in a meeting is a Q&A feature where people can ask the host or the panelists questions and they can then be answered during the webinar, or you can put in that answer category. We will email you with your answers afterwards if there's quite a lot of questions. The other feature that is in webinars and not meetings, I'm fairly certain, are polls. Polls and quizzes are more of something, a feature that is more regularly used in a webinar and not in a meeting. So that's, again, this is where you would go to set your webinars up, but there will potentially actually be webinar settings down here in the settings area. So once again, jump into the settings video where we go through all of the settings in Zoom.